Hello, and welcome to another episode of the compendium of today. I guess it's very comfortable. It's comfort today. Because we're going to talk about the birth of punk in Japan. The movie is called A Street Kingdom, Make Your Own Sound, by Tomorowo Taguchi, who is usually an actor. He sometimes directs. I have seen his movie Identity, which is a fantastic movie about punk rock. In that movie, Kazunoubu Mineta played the lead role, and he's more famous as the singer of the Ginnan Boys, and he's the main actor in this new movie as well. But Mr. Taguchi, you might know as Tetsuo the Iron Man in the first two movies. A great guy nowadays, mostly in smaller parts. But I love him very much. He does everything. He played music. He's kind of a writer and whatever. But every now and then he directs a movie. And this time he took a book by a guy that's called Yuichi Jibiki, who is basically the main actor or the main protagonist of this movie. And he is a guy who's failed as a photographer, and then he fell in love with punk music when he heard the Sex Pistols, I think, on the radio. And then he went to Tokyo looking for punk. And basically he found like a fanzine, and when he ordered that, they were like, hey, we're having a concert, why don't you come? And then he starts making connections with band people, and of course he goes to the concert and starts taking pictures. So he basically becomes the more or less official documentarian. Is it a word, or did I make that up? Anyway, he documents the birth of punk in Japan, which wasn't actually the birth of punk in Japan. There were some other bands that have been around for some time, but for dramatic reasons they framed it a little bit like that. So anyway, the bands he meets, the main band for this movie is called Lizard. The actual band in the movie, they switched it to Tokage, which is the Japanese word for lizard. So basically, they changed all the band names a little bit. But they're all based on real bands. But for the little bit more drama and little bit change in characters and stuff that happened, they changed most of the band names. And the funny thing is, the movie starts with a concert of the band The Stalin, which is a very, very famous punk band. Basically, my point of knowledge for this movie, there were some others where I know the song, but I wasn't really familiar with these bands. But the music is wonderful. I should get some more stuff from that time. Anyway, so the movie starts with this band, I guess, because it's even nowadays still like the most well known, probably, and the most like intense. It starts with a concert where they throw like a pig's head into the audience, I think it's organs or something, some blood. The singer, Michiro Endo is the original singer's name, attacks some people in the audience, pees on someone, and all these things. So it was a really, really, really crazily intense band, and they chose that band name so people will be angry at them. And the movie starts with this concert and people being upset about it. It's like a cold open. the organizers of the venue getting angry at our protagonist. What's going on? How dare you bring such freaks to our place? And then we go back in time and see how he gets there. But for the movie stories, the Stalin aren't all that important. They are there. They're one band he interacts with, but the main focus is on completely other bands that basically formed a collective that's called the Tokyo Rockers. That was a phenomenon that happened like 1 year. And our main trio of characters is, like I said, this photographer. There's a lady who does the fanzine, and later she becomes a member of a band in the movie. It's called Robotomea, I think. I think the original band is Zelda. And then we have the singer of Lizard, Momo, and he is played by Ryuya Wakaba, and the fanzine lady, the role is Sachi. She's played by Riho Yoshioka. So Miss Yoshioka you might have seen in Takashi Miike's Lumberjacks, a Monster, or the not so good Faceless. And Ryuya Wakaba is in many great movies, especially by Rikia Imaizumi. For example, Call Me Chihiro, it's on Netflix. You can watch it now. It's great. Or Over the Town is another fantastic movie. But he was, for example, in My Sunshine as well, a movie I talked about sometime last year or so. I forgot. Some time ago. Anyway, so these three make the main cast, basically, and how they start making records under their own label at some point. This whole Tokyo Rocker thing, how that evolves, and of course then there's the big stress, should the bands become major bands? And there's an interesting phenomenon that some of these bands just don't have any motivation to make something that sells. Like, they're happy if it sells, but they don't want to make it based on the idea that it might sell. Yeah. And in this period, it's great to see, like, the first few concerts that we see here. The audience is sitting on benches and stuff. And during this time, this idea of all standing concerts was established in Japan. The same, there's the bands are major bands, but what's the opposite of major? It wasn't established that it's called indies. Not like nowadays everybody knows indies, and at that point it wasn't a thing. So yeah, it's just a very nice small movie about this period, like late 70s, early 80s. The protagonist will start a record label at the end that's called the Telegraph Records. That's a very real thing. It's all based on the book or the experience of this man, and all the time they show original photos from that he took. Yeah. And I think that there's like one recording that seems to be authentic from that time. And yeah, it's just wonderful how they capture the atmosphere from that time. It all feels quite authentic and well researched and well done. Of course, like I said, for the drama, they changed some details. The characters are a little bit different, but the overall tonality seems to be very period appropriate. And it has some elements at the end where it becomes a little bit dreamy, surreal. That's very much in line with Taguchi's older movie, Aiden and Titty. And so it feels very much like his work. His directing style, I would say, is very clear and simple and basic. There's not much fancy stuff going on. All the live performances, I think he said in an interview that the live performances all had to basically be caught in one take. Yeah. So very simple, and the music was dubbed, so you hear the original songs. Because it would have been maybe too strange to suddenly have different voices for these iconic songs. And the live performances might be slightly different. They were more like actors should have their own take on what happens there. But looked very nice to me. It's a very beautiful, feel-good movie. Has some very typical tropes like this. Should we become a major band? Should we give up our ideals? Drug addiction and all these things happen. But yes, that's part of this theme, this topic. It needs to be in there. What I really liked, what they seemingly filmed but cut because it was so unnecessary, is any kind of romantic subplot. It's completely gone here. It's good. It feels very much like these three people are just very good friends without getting romantically involved, and I prefer it that way, in this case at least. So that's very nice. The music is wonderful. It's amazing. There's not much to say about it. It's just a very beautiful portrait of a period that was seemingly very exciting in Japanese music, and makes you feel like, oh, I wish I could have been there. I wish something like that would happen now. Why don't people come up with like, let's collaborate to make one big movement and get people together and excited about something. It's a feel-good movie. It wants to make you happy, and it's not like thrilling. It's not so exciting in that sense. There's no really big drama. It's just there to show you, hey, that was a really nice time to be around, and it was really unique and special. And I guess if you're familiar with these bands, you will have a lot of fun, probably even more than I had. I already loved this movie. It's amazing. Great stuff. Watch it if you can, if you have the chance. There's not much more to say about it, if we don't want to get into the details of the bands, which I don't know. Let's stop it here. It's a wonderful movie. Give it a chance if you have the chance. And thank you very much for giving me a chance. Have a nice day and see you. Bye.